Three, two,
Or is that just
one.
some local guy with money?
No, it's
the Castro Trump billboard in Florida.
It's a super PAC that does billboards all over the country, but I mean this one is targeted at a specific community.
Whoa!
And I like it too because it's dispelling this myth. Well, I mean, not just that, but for so many years, people just keep lumping Latin American voters all together.
Yeah, exactly.
And for so many years, like there's Mexican Americans who are like, oh no, we're not like these people in Florida. There's
There's
West Coast,
the South Florida, Cuban, and what's the other? Go ahead. I'm not gonna say anything.
Well, yeah, well there you got a lot of Puerto Rican ancestry.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for.
They tend to skew more liberal, whereas the Cuban Latin Americans in and around the Dade County area, they skew conservative.
What?
Well,
weren't they escaping what they're wanting?
Well, see, they don't see it that way, and I think a lot of times it comes down to they credit the Republican Party, who is very hardline, anti-Castro, anti-communist, like Richard Nixon, and so on and so forth. Same as up until the Great Depression, it was like African Americans voted Republican because it was the Republican Party who got the 13th Amendment through.
You just explained that to the wife.
Yeah. So but I mean things can shift that out. But yeah, then now to some of us, which is not that far of a stretch, of comparing one person who took power for himself,
right,
and someone who is espousing to do that,
right, like that's what they want.
And then apparently, the Cuban Americans in South Florida have just lost their mind.
We're good with that. We're fine. We are okay. You know what? We've done it before.
Yeah,
we'll just go back.
But it's good for the rest of America, in my mind, to see that, of like, you cannot just say, well, if Spanish is the primary language in your household, you're always going to vote this way, like, or
so
what they call it, a monolith. Like, no, there are various groups.
You're right, because that's the only question, right?
Yeah,
English, Spanish.
Yeah,
it's not. Yeah. What do they call it? Latino/Hispanic.
Sure,
Caucasian, African American.
Right. But but that's kind of usually in election years, somebody like on all the news networks will get up there and say Latin, or they'll say Latinos. Latinos are looking like they're going to be voting like this, and then you have like
Dade County,
right there,
or
there's an example, but you go around San Antonio, Texas. They don't fall into that grouping, and like they're the ones who are electing more and more representatives in Texas who are Democrats, who were the power base for Beto O'Rourke. And
you would think that between San Antonio, Austin, parts of Houston, Dallas, like you would have enough to make the state. It's not like Louisiana where it's like New Orleans, like that, or Birmingham in Alabama.
Right. Yeah.
I was
going to say, you don't. I mean, we have.
Atlanta's close, but that's because there's literally nothing else in in Georgia.
Well, and it tends to be that where there are available jobs for legal immigrants,
right,
tend to be in the urban areas, not out in the rural areas, which makes sense. And then, but I mean, you think about Texas too, and just be straight up about it. What those Latin Americans have had to endure,
right?
And don't mean just to pinpoint Texas. I know
Arizona,
California has a scattered history with that too.
Yeah.
I mean, just
that's what people don't realize, that outside of like the beach towns,
right?
The San Diego's, the LA's, it's a pretty fucking desolate place out there. It's like Ohio.
Well, but even too, like
in the mountains.
I always find it funny when you see like Dodger games and they talk about how great Dodger Stadium is, and be like, you understand, an entire neighborhood of Latin Americans were displaced,
correct,
to build Walter O'Malley's
And it was
glorious
it was
baseball stadium.
everybody here.
Yeah.
You need to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Go away.
And then, I think they set fire to
There
some
was
of
so
them.
much.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic.
But that's been done. I mean, same thing happened with the area that is now Central Park in New York City. That used to be low-income neighborhoods, not necessarily Latin American, but that was low-income neighborhoods that they were like, no, we want to make it a park now. You all have to get out.
Really?
Yeah.
Not the whole thing.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
No, I mean, that's all man-made.
Well, I knew that.
So, like, I forget the year. I think it was like mid 1800s or something like that.
They just went, no, you're all gone.
Yeah. We're clearing out this section, and if you live in this area, get the fuck out.
We don't care where you go. You can't stay here.
Got off on a side tangent there,
Well,
but
no,
I think that
not.
But the other interesting part that I've been finding out about the exiled Cubans was they were given a much easier road to citizenship.
Yeah, I mean, look at Scarface. He made it big time.
Right.
He had his fucking name in lights and shit.
Yeah, but it was one like
they did streamline that. Like,
yeah,
it was
exactly.
like
Yeah,
you're in cages and tents, but like within a few weeks,
yeah,
we were cycling you in.
and they were almost like guaranteed citizenship.
Yeah, so I mean, it was just
So-
more. You get to hang out here while we get your paperwork,
Sure, yeah.
and then you can go out into the world.
And then like once you clear, some of y'all were gonna skirt you off to Louisiana to train you to re-invade the country, and then eventually put you back in a Cuban prison.
That's what we do.
Oh
Louisiana. We'll get to
no!
that state. We'll get to our
that
great
was
state.
that was the CIA, but that was and
Hey man, defund the CIA.
and Clay Shaw.
Holy fucking shit. Okay, now we're gonna go to the Midwest.
Yeah.
Mother Nature's trying to wipe the Midwest off the planet.
Yeah, or I mean I put that up there because you just kind of want to say like if you want a telltale sign of global warming and you live in the Midwest, last year it was a massive drought.
Yeah.
Like I mean water shortages everywhere.
No, it was a fucking desert, a hellscape.
Yeah. That stretched down to us.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I put that in there because that so one year it's hot as shit, it's dry as fuck. I mean to where and we're all because of the fucking river, we're tied into whatever goes on up there.
Yeah, no. Again, shit flows down river.
To where what was that? What was it? The salt? What like the?
Oh God.
But where the essentially the Gulf of Mexico was flowing upriver.
Yes.
And we almost had all the parishes around here were freaking out about like we have to figure out how to desalinate.
How do you
That's
do
because
that?
there was I mean
they put up barriers, I think is what they ultimately decided.
Yeah, and it worked.
Right.
But that was all because there was a drought up in the Midwest. There wasn't enough water flowing down here. And then now this year it's
making up for it.
Yeah, it's not here yet.
Way.
But like Iowa's getting hit, which means
it's June, the first week of June, and we had a named storm hit Texas.
Yeah.
And we flooded, 3 times in the past month?
Yeah. But I mean, some years that's kind of like par for the course, right?
Right. This is like the rainy season normal.
Yeah.
Last year it wasn't.
Oh God.
It's fucking bad.
Well, and that was the thing. Like I thought it was bad here, and then I traveled up to visit
I was like,
my family in Missouri, and it was. I mean, it's always, and I've said that like.
It's a different hot.
Yeah, but like, I mean, whether it's the small towns or even the big cities, like I mean, St. Louis, Chicago's this way too. Like, these are some of the at least down here, like it gets hot, but the winter is not bad.
Right.
But like St. Louis and Chicago are two of the places I've been. St. Louis I lived in.
New York was like that a couple of years ago. It was unbearable.
Yeah, but like every year, like the 5 years I lived in St. Louis, it would be like the coldest winter I've ever experienced, and then the hottest summer.
Fuck that.
Where like heat indexes are like 114.
Yeah, no, I
no
get that,
wind whatsoever.
I get that here, but I don't have to deal with winter.
Yeah.
Like 10 days.
But there's always a breeze down here. Or if it gets normally, like unlike last year, if it gets that hot around here, something's evaporating up, and you get spot storms that at least knock it back down to like upper 80s for
or
a
just
minute.
Cover the sun for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, like it was this morning. It was
exactly.
Like, yeah. So
I got to find those pockets of space to cut the grass. It fucking sucks. It really does. And now they're getting beat up by, all right, so flooding and tornadoes.
Yeah.
And California is baking.
It's already on fire,
like
I believe.
Well, that's why Down played here. I'm dead serious. Yeah. They had 2 shows scheduled at one of the casinos out there.
Oh, yeah.
And they had to cancel them. So they were like, fuck it. Let's do 2 pop-up shows in our state.
Okay.
With money going to them.
Oh, well, that was nice of them.
Fucking right it was. And they sold out a joint. Sorry, we'll talk about this all the time. Go ahead. But, yeah, it's like someone's holding a magnifying glass over them. Right. Like me killing ants as a kid.
I mean, I'm not laughing at their tragedy. I'm just laughing at how fucked up it is and that. And then, and then if we're to tie this all together, it's everything I keep hearing from climate scientists and EPA, oceanographers are going like, well, you know what? Like, I think like the whole channel that takes the warm air up to Europe.
Yeah, that's gone.
Like, it's fucked.
Yeah, it's
like
it doesn't exist
anymore. We're not coming back from that. So,
and I'm not a meteorologist.
Yeah, as far as I know, it'll cool things off here. But then the Doomsday Glacier is about to fucking fall off, which then means that we're going to be underwater in like 10, 15 years.
I saw something terrifying that not just the flooding, but think about all of the viruses that have been dormant for thousands of years.
Yeah, or just
or a disease,
or forms of bacteria that we don't.
Correct.
We have no immunity to. Yeah.
No, it's like another planet under there.
Well, and that's the other fucked up part. Yeah, so with like the permafrost melting,
we went straight from politics to.
Well, I mean, it's part of it because.
Well, weren't we talking about the EPA and
yeah?
Okay, perfect.
So
I'm kidding.
We
don't need to justify
if
shit.
agencies like that are gone, but you're getting like. That's one of the other issues is that there's all what they're finding out is in the permafrost there's all this carbon that had been frozen over. Now that it's melting, so now it's not even shit that we're doing other than
carbon from there.
Yeah, that's going to amplify the issue, and so now you have these.
None of this exists, by the way.
Yeah,
and the Earth is flat. That's what gets me. It's like
we're riding on a turtle, man.
Man, there is a section of humanity that believe that.
Well, and then you have that. Then you have another group that's like, why fix it? Because the Armageddon's coming. Christ is coming back soon. So
yeah, who gives a shit?
Yeah, who gives a shit, right?
It's all part of the plan.
Yeah.
It's in the Bible. These fucking people. It's exhausting. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Really. And I got kids.
And, that's why I think.
I mean.
That's also why, like, more and more you hear of people who are like, as soon as I have the chance, I'm just moving to the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And building a fucking self-sustaining cabin.
If I wasn't scared of, like, feral human beings, I would move into the mountains in, like, Tennessee, North Carolina.
Ooh, yeah.
But there are some feral...
Yeah, there's some crazies out there.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to...
That somehow get their hands on meth and oxy.
But, like, don't wear any... They're like the others in Lost.
Yeah.